Okay, so you know that classic picture of the freelancer, right? Like someone working in their PJs from their, spare bedroom.
Yeah.
I feel like that image is maybe getting a little outdated these days.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're seeing like this huge surge in popularity of shared workspaces,
Yeah.
you know, like all these really cool and dynamic co-working spaces popping up everywhere.
Yeah, these vibrant hubs.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like a really interesting evolution, right? It's gone from just like a basic alternative to a traditional office space for people who just needed a desk to like a fundamental part of how freelancers and independent professionals work.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about so much more than just like the physical workspace now.
Absolutely. And, our listener, you sent us this article from Brandnook.
Oh, yeah.
And they're actually a co-working space provider themselves, so they're really in the thick of it. And it really got us thinking about this whole shift, like this move towards collaborative work environments.
Yeah.
So our goal today is to really dig deep and understand what this means for the future of freelancing. Like, how is this relationship between independent workers and these shared spaces, changing the freelancing game as a whole?
Exactly. Yeah, you've given us a great jumping off point, I think, to explore, why this whole trend is such a big deal for freelancers.
Okay.
And we're going to unpack all the major driving forces behind it and the impact it's having.
All right, so let's dive right in.
Let's do it.
Okay, so right off the bat, the article hits us with this pretty crazy stat.
Okay.
There are 1.57 billion freelancers worldwide.
Wow.
That's almost half of all professionals globally.
It's a huge number.
It's massive, right?
It really puts into perspective the sheer scale of, the independent workforce and its impact on the global economy.
For sure. And the article points out that this isn't just some random trend.
Right.
There are real reasons driving this. People are choosing to freelance because they want more control over their work and their time.
Exactly. Flexibility and independence are huge right now.
Yeah, totally. But with that freedom can come a sense of isolation sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Working from home all the time in your little home office can get...
It can.
Yeah, it can get lonely.
Yeah, you miss out on those water cooler conversations and just the general buzz of being around other people.
Yeah, that daily interaction that you'd normally get in a traditional office.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I think this co-working space model really comes in. And it's so interesting how they directly address that problem of isolation.
Right.
By creating a space where freelancers can instantly feel like they're part of a community.
It's almost like having this built-in network the moment you walk in the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the article describes it as a supportive community of like-minded individuals, which I think is spot on.
Yeah, it's not just about having a desk. It's about the people you're surrounded by.
It is. And, those connections are so much more valuable than you might think at first.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, these spaces are not just a bunch of people working in parallel, Right. The article talks about this really cool phenomenon where you get professionals from all these different fields coming together.
Yeah.
And that creates this amazing cross-pollination of ideas. And it sparks innovation in a way that you just wouldn't get if you were working alone at home.
Yeah, it paints a picture of these places as hubs for creativity.
Yeah. For sure.
You're overhearing conversations, you're seeing what other people are working on, and it can spark your own thinking.
Totally. And it's not just by chance.
Yeah.
They don't just hope that you'll bump into someone interesting. The article gives some good examples of the structured ways they encourage that.
Yeah.
Shared communal spaces.
Okay.
Obviously. But then also all the events they organize, like social mixers.
Right.
Workshops. Skill building sessions, industry-specific seminars, they make a real effort to cultivate those interactions and share learning experiences.
Yeah, so you're not just hoping to bump into someone interesting at the coffee machine. They have actual systems in place to help people connect and learn from each other.
Right.
Which is cool, and it sounds like the potential benefits are huge.
Yeah.
You could find new collaborators, you could learn new skills, you could even discover whole new opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you think, how many freelancers out there working completely on their own are missing out on those chance encounters?
Yeah.
Or those little bits of advice or feedback that could make a big difference in their careers.
Totally. So one of the big reasons people choose to freelance is that flexibility, right?
Oh, for sure.
Being able to set your own hours and control your work environment.
Yeah.
And the article actually argues that co-working spaces actually enhance that flexibility rather than restrict it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting.
No, totally. It's not like going back to a rigid 9 to 5.
Right.
They actually often offer 24/7 access.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
So you can work whenever you're most productive. Whether it's early morning, late at night, or if you have clients in different time zones, you can totally adjust to that.
It's perfect for freelancers who aren't bound by a traditional work schedule.
Yeah, exactly. And they have a ton of different membership options.
Oh, yeah.
So whether you need a desk for a day, a few days a month, or a full-time dedicated space,
Right.
you can usually find a plan that works for you.
Yeah, it's like a tailored approach to workspace.
It is.
And they also talk about how there are different types of spaces within a co-working environment.
Oh,
like you've got open collaborative areas, dedicated desks for when you need to focus.
Right.
Even private offices for
Yeah.
confidential meetings or when you just need quiet.
Exactly. And I think that's really important because a freelancer's needs change all the time,
For sure.
depending on the project,
Mm-hmm.
the time of day, even their mood.
Totally.
So having those options all in one place is a huge plus.
And then it gets really interesting when you start thinking about all the extra stuff you get beyond just the desk itself.
Okay.
The article talks about all these premium amenities and expertise.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Right. And, think about setting up a truly professional home office.
Oh, my God.
You need reliable, high-speed internet,
Yeah,
a good printer, a dedicated space for client calls.
right.
That stuff can get expensive.
It can be a huge investment.
Yeah. And co-working spaces typically just include all of that.
Yeah, they take care of it for you.
Right. And they list out all these amazing facilities they have,
Okay.
like super fast internet printing and scanning, well-equipped meeting rooms, comfy break areas, even pet-friendly outdoor spaces and stocked kitchenettes.
Wow.
It's more like a corporate campus than just a shared office.
And let's not forget the ergonomic workspaces.
Yeah.
Investing in a good chair and an adjustable desk at home.
Oh, yeah.
It's important for your health, but it can be pricey.
Yeah.
And co-working spaces often prioritize that stuff, which is great.
And then they talk about those organized events again,
Oh, right.
like the networking opportunities, the workshops,
Yeah,
the seminars. It's like built-in professional development.
totally. And then there's also the more informal but equally valuable access to advice and insights from all the other professionals around you.
Oh, yeah, just by being there.
Yeah, you're surrounded by people facing different challenges, celebrating wins, and that kind of peer-to-peer support is so valuable.
Yeah, for sure. It's like having an informal advisory board just by being in the building.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk money for a minute.
Okay.
Because for freelancers, managing expenses is always a big deal.
Absolutely.
Right. And the article makes a strong case for co-working spaces being a really cost-effective alternative to a traditional office lease
Yeah.
because you avoid those long-term contracts and the huge upfront costs.
And all the hidden costs of running a traditional office space.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're not paying for utilities, property maintenance,
Right.
or stocking up on all the office supplies.
It all adds up.
Yeah, and with the flexible membership plans, you can really tailor your workspace costs to your income and how much you're actually using it.
Exactly. If you have a slower month, you can scale back.
Yeah, it's way more adaptable than a traditional office.
Yeah, and when you factor in all the shared resources,
Right.
like the internet, the printer, the meeting rooms,
Yeah.
it really lowers the cost for each individual person.
Okay, so now let's switch gears a bit and talk about something that I think every freelancer struggles with.
Okay.
Productivity when your home is your office.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
It's so easy to get distracted.
It is, the article mentioned that it's hard to separate your personal and professional life when they're happening in the same space.
Like suddenly you're doing laundry in the middle of the workday.
Right, or you're tempted to run errands or watch TV.
Yeah, exactly. But having a dedicated co-working space gives you that separation.
Yeah.
Like it signals to your brain, okay, this is work time now.
It creates that mental shift. And the article also talked about the importance of ergonomic comfort and design.
Right.
A well-designed space can actually make you more productive.
Oh, totally. Like being in a space that's both physically comfortable and visually appealing can do wonders for your focus and motivation.
Absolutely. And even just the act of physically leaving your office at the end of the day helps create that separation between work and personal life.
And that's so important for preventing burnout.
It is.
And I love this idea that being part of a co-working community can actually influence your work habits in a good way.
Oh, tell me about it.
You see how other people work. You observe their routines.
Yeah.
And you might pick up some new strategies without even realizing it.
Like productivity by osmosis.
I love that.
I know, right?
Okay, and finally, let's talk about work-life balance.
Okay.
Which is especially tricky for freelancers.
Yeah. It can be a real struggle.
Because your work life and personal life can blend together so easily.
Right? You're always on in a way.
Yeah, exactly. And the article highlights how having a dedicated workspace in a co-working environment can help create those boundaries.
Yeah.
You have a place you go to work,
Mm-hmm.
and then you leave at the end of the day, and that creates a physical and mental separation.
Exactly. You're not tempted to check emails or work on projects late at night.
Yeah, you're more likely to actually switch off and recharge.
Right. And some co-working spaces are going even further
Yeah.
by offering amenities that support a more balanced lifestyle,
Oh, yeah, like what?
like on-site gyms or childcare facilities,
Oh.
which I think is amazing. It shows that they really understand the needs of modern freelancers.
Yeah, that freelancers are whole people with lives outside of work.
Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like co-working spaces offer a really compelling solution for freelancers.
I think so.
You know, you get that sense of community, you have the flexibility you need,
Mm.
access to all those resources, a cost-effective way to run your business,
Right?
an environment that boosts productivity, and a better chance at achieving that work-life balance.
It's a pretty great package.
It is. So hopefully this deep dive has given you, our listener, a really clear understanding of all the amazing benefits and the impact that co-working spaces can have.
Yeah, for freelancers like you.
For sure.
So now that we've talked about all this, what are your thoughts? Like, how do you think incorporating a shared workspace into your routine could change your productivity, your connections, and ultimately your professional goals?
Yeah, it's definitely something to consider.
It is.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
See you next time.